great day for a ride. Hi, welcome to Greers Ferry recreational area. My name is Chris, and this is One Man's Travels. Alright, so I decided to do something a little bit different this time around. I would go somewhere local. And like I said, we're up here at Greers Ferry Lake, the Heber Springs Greers Ferries area. And behind me, here's the Greers Ferry Dam. It's a hydroelectric dam, and there's the reservoir behind me. And you can see just off in the distance, right over there, there's just one of the many areas that people come up here to go visit. That's the swim area, and you barely see the signs of a dock off over there on the end over there, where I believe there's also a boat launch. And so I can't remember exactly when the Greers Ferry Dam was built. Let's see if I have any information here. Greers Ferry Reservoir, constructed under the supervision of the United States Army Corps of Engineers. I guess it was started in 1957 and finished in 1964. Let me see. And this little area over here, this view area, it's got this covered area where you can view the dam from this side. This little memorial rest viewpoint is in memory of these individuals who lost their lives in the Greers Ferries project. Bill Killian in March 10th of 61 and Edward Phillips of April 4th, 1960. So this isn't all I want to show you, so let's go ahead and stop at some of the other park areas. There's a visitor center on the other side over here. We'll show you that. It's Sunday, so I don't believe they are open, but let's go check out and see what I can show you. Not that it was any major feat, but we managed to make it to the other side of the dam. We're over here at the William Carl Gardner Visitor Center. We're gonna go inside, take a look around, see what, I've been here before, but maybe you haven't, so let's go in and take a look. This is some of the exhibits here at the visitor center. Talking about a lot of the early settlers and some of the first people that come to the Greers Ferry area. And obviously, most of these explorers and settlers were here before the Greers Ferry Lake was formed when they built the dam. Just example of some of how the construction would have looked like way back then. It's all really neat. I've always enjoyed visiting visitor centers like this, for a certain state or national parks, because there's always so much information. A lot of these pictures, for example, it's crazy how complex and hard life was way back in the day, like late 1800s and the early 1900s and the Old West. It was all really, really neat. A boat patent. So he has some survey instruments. Matches. Reading glass. A lot of the efforts and reasonings behind the building of the Greers Ferry Dam, and it was to basically control floodwaters. It says right here, the difficult decades. Spring of 1927 brought torrential rains and storms to the Mississippi Valley, producing the greatest flood disaster in history of the United States. This, combined with a long history of flooding in the Little Red River country, caused Congress to assign the Corps of Engineers to develop a flood control program. In 1938, Congress approved the Corps' plan for a series of flood control dams on the White and Little Red Rivers, including the dam here in Greers Ferry. The onset of World War II, however, caused these plans to be put aside. Obviously, they're put back on to build it because it is here now. And so this is kind of I guess, well, if this were an actual block of concrete, it'd be over 2 tons. It's big. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Electrical blade switches. Wow, those are heavy. Heavy duty. How big is a dam? Here you go. A little bit of education for you guys. 1 cubic yard of concrete weighs over 2 tons. There are 856,000 cubic yards of concrete in this dam. That's a heavy dam. And this is just another example of one of those things you get to see at some of these parks and the visitor centers. Is, you know, a scaled replica of, you know, whether it be, you know, a national park or a mountain of, like Mount St. Helens has something like this, of Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier and so on and so forth. But you can see all the little details they put in this thing. There's the turbine there. Pretty neat though. Here's some of the wildlife you can see in the area. Maybe not necessarily during the daytime. Look at that. That's a big trout. Wow, that's crazy. And look at that thing. She's a big one. And yes, I hope that we will get a chance to capture a couple shots of our national bird here. But if not, this stuffed bald eagle is just gonna have to do. And here's a couple wildlife shots of some local photographers. This one, I like this one. That's a really good shot. Wow. There's another map that I'm going to show you that's actually got some really neat areas marked on it. Some more pictures. Alright, let's move right on. And if you're interested, there's also a film called The Dam Story that you guys can watch. It talks about the making and the history of the area and the making of the dam. But one last thing I wanted to show you was this map. This is actually pretty neat. It's got from Clinton all the way across over to where we're at right now, which is, let me see if I can find it again. I found it earlier. Greers Ferry Dam area, JFK. We're off over here. But you can probably see some of the spots here, the green and pink and areas marked. And here's the key if you're up here in this area. It's actually pretty neat. Since a lot of the areas, like here and here, all these little areas, there's towns that are now underwater. And one of the people that work here would tell me these areas through here, all the green areas, are actually cemeteries, and these are underwater. A lot of the graves were moved from, for the most part, but there are several that are still here. Let's see, there's a, I think when I was looking on the internet for areas to go diving up here and some of the buildings, one of the places that I remember seeing, there's actually a church underwater that you can just kind of see, and so that would be really neat to go check out. I mean, whether or not that's something you'd want to do, it'd be neat to see, but I think it would also be creepy as all get out at the same time. And so this is a pretty neat map. So I'm sure there's other additional resources for you to find places to dive online. Alright, well, that's the William Carl Gardner Visitor Center. So we're going to go to one of the other dam sites and where a lot of the other recreation is. I think if I remember correctly, there's a marina there. You can rent jet skis, boats, and stuff for the day. Actually, I take that back. I think they stopped doing the jet skis because they've had insurance issues and too many breakdowns. They were increasing their costs to operate. But let's head on over there. So moving right along. Unfortunately, we're not going to go to the dam site park. The representatives over there insisted that they're going to charge me for a full day of parking to run in and shoot about 2, 3, 4 minutes of video, and I was like, that's just not cool. But don't worry, we'll get to see some shots of the lake, and there's another place we're going to go, Sandy Beach, and after that there's only one thing left for me to show you, and it's kind of cool, at least I think so. So now that I'm done with lunch, let me hop back on the bike and take you over to Sandy Beach. Let's go. Alright, well, so we made it here to Sandy Beach. Now, this is one of the more popular areas up here to visit. They don't really have any of the cliffs over here like they do over at Dam Site Park. They're not official dive cliffs, but the water's deep enough and the cliffs are high enough for a lot of people will swim out to them on the little islands and everything and along the shores of the lake, and they'll dive off into the water. Now, today is actually not that busy, surprising. Usually around 4th of July or other summertime events that they have up here in Heber, Sandy Beach here gets pretty busy and pretty packed. In fact, a lot of the parking that they have available is currently closed off because they're not that busy. But you know, across the water you have one of the marinas that are up here, and there's another one off over here. Over at Dam Site there's a marina where you can rent your boats and everything. Yeah, I wanted to get some footage of that over there, but unfortunately the attendant at the gate, like I said, wanted to charge me for the whole day, and that wasn't happening. But a lot of people that launch off their boats, they'll park them on the south side of the beach and enjoy the fun and the sun and the swimming right here at Sandy Beach. And so I don't know exactly from where. I think they bring a floating barge out somewhere out here in the water during the 4th of July, and that's when they'll set up their fireworks. They'll launch them off from out in the water, so you get a nice spot here on the beach. Excellent view of the fireworks during the 4th of July. It's awesome, and a lot of the small communities around the lake, whether it's here in Heber Springs, Greers Ferry, over closer to Clinton, several of the communities around here usually have pretty good fireworks displays because you're out here in the wilderness, the boonies and whatnot, so you're not going to disturb a whole lot of people. But let's head downtown. I'm going to drive through there. If I happen to see any festivities going on at the park downtown, I'll be sure to stop and get video of that. And then there's one more little area that I wanted to show up before I finish my ride all the way back to the house on the bike. So let's move right along. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to try to zoom in here just a little bit. That little hill off in the distance they call Sugar Loaf. And that's one of the things that I'm wanting to show you on my way out of this area. We'll get a good close-up shot of it. And I'm not going to be hiking up to it, but I believe that you are allowed to hike up to it and up on top. But I am not prepared or equipped to do anything like that. But so let's finish getting through downtown so you can get a closer shot of it. Well, here we are at the end of this little Greers Ferry, if I didn't mention before, Arkansas recreational and surrounding area video. There's so much to do up here, so many different places to gain access to the lake, go boating, fishing, swimming, camping, hiking, etc., etc., etc. And this, well, this is the ASU Heber Springs campus, just south of the Sugarloaf. You probably can't see in the video, but let me see, point right up there, there are some people. I'm not sure how they get up there, and I'm in no shape to be making that kind of climb, but I'm sure, I can only imagine the view is pretty awesome from up there. You might even be able to see the lake, even though you kind of have to climb over a large hill to get to the lake, but still, it's a nice campus though. Who knows, maybe one of my kids will end up going here. Who knows? Maybe one day, when I get in a little bit better shape, get rid of some of this gut, maybe I can make it to the top of Sugarloaf. And if I do, I'll be sure to get some photos, maybe in video, to prove it to you. But that's it for me in this video. Time to grab my helmet, get back on the road, and make my way back to the house. And so, if you guys are out there riding your bikes, be sure to be careful. Wear your helmet if you have it. If you don't, then just be careful. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. And those of you who aren't on a motorcycle, on a day like this, motorcycles are everywhere. Look twice so you can save a life. And so, until next time, we'll see you out there on the road. My name is Chris, and this has been One Man's Travels. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.